Hello and welcome back to the Patient First Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Bryan Laskin. And as always, I'm very excited that you are here. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about dentistry. No shocker, but the future of dentistry, where we are going as an industry, and where I think you hopefully can fit in. Because I was at a trade show the other day, about a week ago, and I met a phenomenal dentist who I'd never met before, and she has a practice, and she has two people who work at the business office, two assistants, two hygienists, and she was asking me, Bryan, we were at a DSO meeting, and she was learning about DSOs, and she says, I love doing dentistry, and I'm really interested in what's going on in the industry. I see rapid change. Where do you think, where do you think that I should position myself here? Because I just love doing dentistry. I don't want to change that. I love running my practice, but I see what's going on with DSOs and how should I navigate this marketplace? And I thought that it was a great perspective that there's probably a lot of people, regardless of where you are in dentistry, even if you're a patient and you're looking at what's going on from the sort of from the outside of the industry in, and you're thinking, I wonder where things are going for dentists and dentistry. And I think that it's more gray than it used to be. When I got out of dental school, people hung up a shingle or bought a practice. And if you didn't buy a practice, frankly, you were told that you were just leaving money on the table and you're being stupid and basically associate dentists were definitely looked down upon for being an associate in a practice and not being a dentist owner. And I know those days are gone. Being an associate is a phenomenal career. Being a dentist is a phenomenal career. Running dental practices is a phenomenal career. But fundamentally, I want to talk about where are we going in dentistry, right? And what we're talking about is the future of dentistry. However, I like to talk about it, the future of dentistry today. Why? Because there's already been massive shifts, already been massive changes in dentistry that are affecting you and your practice that you should be aware of and that you should make a choice, not tomorrow, but today. This trend, what's happening today, is going to affect you one way or another. So I think you need to make a choice. If you are in a dental practice, if you go to a dental practice, if you work in a dental practice, or if you're a dentist, or if you are an owner of dental practices, I believe that you have to have a fundamental choice of who you go to, who you see, who you work with in right now, because dentistry is going through a massive change right now. So I'm going to talk about this from the perspective of a dentist. If you're a dentist working in a dental practice and you're trying to think, I like this phenomenal dentist that I talked to. I have a practice. She was a practice owner, and I'm a dentist, and I have a small team. And she was like, I don't know what to do. Should I buy more practices? Should I partner with other practices? Should I sell to a DSO? Should I become a DSO? Or can I just stay the way we are? And so I'm going to relay my answers to you. And hopefully, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, please comment. If you like what I say, subscribe. We talk a lot about the state of dentistry on this podcast. But I think that this perspective, I believe if you're a dentist, you should take to heart. So what's the choices that you have to make? Number one is to be a dentist. So what I mean by that is focus exclusively on delivering excellent clinical care. Why do I need to even point this out? Well, because the days, like I said at the top of the podcast, of being an owner and a dentist is shifting. I don't think there's ever been a better time to be a clinical dentist. Look, let's face it, there's not enough good people to go around anywhere. And specifically in dentistry, being a phenomenal clinician is going to provide you a phenomenal career. So being an associate dentist, maybe being a fractional owner in a practice, or just working for even a large group, I think is a great career choice. Much better than it was 10, 20 years ago, where there weren't as many really good positions available to focus exclusively on clinical care. So I know that a lot of younger dentists really want this as a career choice. And the good news is that I believe it's better than ever to be an associate dentist. So this is a phenomenal career choice today. That's choice number one, be a dentist. Option number two, run a business. You can buy practices. You can have a practice that's large, or you can actually just focus on running the business of dentistry and not be a dentist. Hell, I go to tons of dental meetings now where I don't even see other dentists. It's just a bunch of, not just, but it's a bunch of people who are in the business side of dentistry, and they've never, ever had anything to do with clinical dentistry other than being an owner or a marketing, like a chief marketing officer, chief growth officer, whatever, chief financial officer, and they've never been in a dental practice except as a patient. So, as a dentist or as a dental professional, you can provide so much valuable insight into running the practice so that even if the day after, and I know people that have done this, the day after they've graduated from dental school, they never saw another patient. They've been part of the business of dentistry, and it's a phenomenal career. Just like being a clinical dentist, you can solely focus on business no matter what stage of your career. You can make that choice. You can choose, you know what, today I'm going to sell my practice and focus on clinical dentistry. Phenomenal choice. Or you can say, I'm not going to focus on clinical care at all. I'm just going to focus on running a business. I think that's also a fantastic choice. And neither one of those, frankly, when I got out of dental school, were really a good option. Specifically, running a dental practice. I mean, no dentist just ran a practice and didn't see patients. Very, very few. Very few. But today, that's a completely viable option. There's entire organizations that help you grow dental practices that have nothing to do with clinical care other than that is the business that we're in. And there's obviously many, many, many courses you can go to that focus exclusively on clinical care. So you can choose your path. Number one, being a dentist. Number two, being a business person. And then number three is doing both. However, what's different today than when I got out of dental school 20 years ago, 20 plus years ago, let's be honest, is that you can't be average at either if you want to do both. I believe you have to, well, first of all, if you're going to be a clinician, you really need to focus on being exceptional because that quality of care that in your practice is key. However, if you're going to do both, I don't think you'll survive if you're not exceptional at both because the people can go to a large office that has many, many more conveniences than a small practice can provide and get average dentistry. So that one dentist that I met that wants to retain being a single dentist with two business office, two assistants, and two hygienists to succeed today, meaning in the near future, meaning tomorrow and next year, I believe she should really be exceptional at both. Better at clinical dentistry than the average group and better at business. But my friends, it's not as hard as it sounds. As I talk about in my book, Dental Disorder, in the topic, the dentist disorder, I believe it's called the dentist disorder, I talk about how dentists aren't bad at business. Humans are bad at business. You know what? Dentists, not just by nature of the bell curve, aren't exceptional at clinical dentistry. So it's really not that hard to be exceptional at both clinical care and dental and business. So how do you do it? Because that's what this dentist that I met, I said, if you want to do both, I think you absolutely can, but you have to be exceptional. And her response to me was, I'm going to be working all of the time. I'm going to be working and studying 24/7 if I need to be exceptional at both. And my response to her was, absolutely not. Here's what it takes, I believe, to be exceptional at both, or frankly, either. Focus, prioritization. For example, when it comes to clinical dentistry, when you are going to be learning, if you're going to take time out of your practice or practices and go learn about clinical dentistry, do not learn something you already know. Now, it sounds obvious, but people do it all of the time. Just look at the prospectus of any major dental meeting. You have dentists talking about bonding. You have people talking about composites. all of these things that you learned in dental school that haven't changed in my career, let alone yours. So what that means is be focused on what you're going to be practicing, what you're going to be focused on learning, and be critically discriminating in what you learn and how you apply it. And then when you're in your practice doing clinical dentistry every day, don't look at every tooth like a unique snowflake, a unique puzzle to solve. When you're doing a procedure, be thinking, how can I be a little bit better next time when I do this? How can I get better at this procedure the next time I do it so that it's higher quality, takes less time, is less uncomfortable for the patient, all of the criteria that matter so that we get better results more efficiently each and every time. So that the time you do that procedure 1,000 times, it is exponentially better than the first time you did it. That's how you get exceptional at clinical dentistry. It's not about doing more. It's about being more focused and having the right mindset of focusing on being exceptional and trying to get better each time you do something. And then if you're going to incorporate something into your practice, if you're going to go out and learn something new that then you can bring back to your practice and implement and learn how to implement well. That's the focus of my first book, Patient First Manifesto. You can learn how to implement anything easily within that book. So, and then business, like I mentioned, there's all sorts of people, organizations you can go to. But what I would tell you, my friends, is don't learn about running a dental business from somebody that has done both that isn't exceptional at both. From an average dentist, you're not going to learn how to do exceptional business. You could, if you talk to, say, join a business group where people talk, like an entrepreneurship group, where you have a cohort of people where you share business ideas. It's a great way to learn about business. Or take an online course, sign up for something like Section, which teaches you all about marketing and business through micro learning courses, right? Outside the box, but it's an easy way to get the business education you need without having to go to business school and take all of those courses. There's so many different great ways to get online training that you can do at home in your pajamas. If you have a patient not show up for an appointment, you can get the education you need. So my friends, if you're in dentistry and you want to thrive in the future, and by thrive, I mean have your practice grow, not shrink, or your practices grow, not shrink, I believe you have a choice to make. Do you want to be a dentist? Do you want to run a business or be exceptional at both? Let me know about your thoughts below, about what your choice is. And of course, I look forward to seeing you right here next week on the Patient First Podcast.